Oh, hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve OMI update video. We are here with. Oh, wow. Oh. All right, had to mute the turtle golf here for a second.
He's in timeout.
Is that better?
That is much better.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon. Smash the super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. Lori, Turtle, how you doing, fam? How are you guys?
I am well. How are you guys?
I'm doing
good.
A little bit upset by the BitForex going down. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
So I did have a little bit on there. It was kind of like
too.
How much did you guys have on there? 4 million. And then what about you, Turtle?
Yeah, probably 7.
All right. So there's I'm trying to figure out how they had so much on there. They had 22 billion. And most likely, Stan, it was just insolvency issues. There was a article that came out recently. There was a new law that Hong Kong warns crypto exchanges to apply for a license by February 29th, and they just they didn't. BitForex just didn't have it. They would have had to pay a certain amount of money for that. They didn't have it. They were running out of USDT, so that's why you had some liquidity issues even before they went down. But yeah, there's me and one other person that's trying to say like, how did we have so much on there? So all right, Lori, and
yes. Well, it was a conscious decision.
Yeah.
It's not all there. It was a conscious decision, a risky decision, but whenever, as Will explained it to me, and as we were, talking through it, it's like when things come up, by the time, you do your swap, you pay your ETH, you do this, you could miss, the spike when everyone's selling it. We ran into that like with Pepe. Whenever we were trying to sell that off, it was just a disaster, it was, and the rejection and the ETH, and it was like, it was a known and accepted risk. And if you're in crypto and you don't understand that, I mean, yeah, there's ledgers and there's cold storage, but when things go hot, you want to be able to strike on the dime, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It just is, not your keys, not your crypto. But once again, you make that conscious decision of, do I want to potentially grab 100x if all shit goes crazy, or do I want to be the one sitting on, sitting in my cold storage and waiting for it to come over, and 8 hours later, and then by that time, you're dropping down. So it was a calculated, tolerable, risk for us. Now, for somebody who, maybe didn't understand all the ramifications, I feel bad, but it is what it is.
Well, there was also a different valuation too. When it was at 5.5, it was half as much money.
Yeah.
Right.
Then it went to with the 0.12, and then it was double the amount of money.
Yeah.
Right.
And then it was, I guess I'm, fortunate, happy, lucky. Before Christmas, time came, I did, it seems like always, on a path towards, multiples. So I did want to take some and give it to my nieces and nephews. So I did take and help my brother set up a Veve account and sent it to them. So they're getting the MCP points for that. I put it in at a lower valuation. I transferred it to them at a lower valuation. So fortunately, that OMI that I should have transferred all of it to them, but I had the money on BitForex to transfer that to them. So
okay. And again, there is no masses because there's a. I'm just gonna try to figure out how that much could be on there, because most people, I just asked on Twitter, they just had like, yeah, some people had a couple million or a couple 100,000. The people that had like a couple million, they were just like, I was just too cheap to pay the transfer fees, the gas fees. Because that's a lot of OMI, and I know the exchange had some, for random reasons, but yeah, that seems like a lot. I don't know how that much was on there.
What is it, Randy? Is it 9 billion with a B?
22 billion. That was on there.
Oh,
And that was on ERC20 OMI. They had another 2 billion in GoChain OMI. So it's really 24 billion, and that's like 8% of the supply, 7.8, something like that. That's a lot. And
yeah, that's scary, right? I
and,
mean,
and I know I don't think anyone had like a billion on there. I mean, maybe some whale that I don't know who it was had that on there, but yeah,
That sounds like a very high number.
it
I mean,
does.
Is that 2,000 people holding 10 million OMI? Is that right? What's the number?
I don't think it's that, because most of the people that I see, there's a couple of people. There's someone that had like, I had 15 million on there. But let's just say, yeah, if it was 10 million, 2,000 would be 20 billion. So but that nobody had, like, 2,000 people didn't have 10 million on there. There's just no way. So yeah, unless you had somebody that had like billions on there for one person, I don't see how that could happen. I will tell you guys, and this is something I kind of want to share for the audience before we kind of go on here, is that I see a lot of, and I feel like I'm going to rustle some jimmies here. I see a lot of people that are super salty that they had their stuff on there, that they're kind of not preaching to the choir. They're like pontificating on this hill that, see, told you Akomi was going down. This is all a scam. And there's like, I sold mine. Are you going to sell yours? And they're trying to get people to sell. And they are listening. There are some people that are selling down here. That's why we're at like 00076 or 00075, whatever we're at now. And when I go to, and I talk to my super successful friends and the whales that are on here, is like, okay, well, what do we know? This is a short-term setback that's clouding people's judgment, their long-term judgment. So people are panic selling. Let me throw another 100,000 at this. Okay, well, what happened is not Veve's fault. It's not Akomi's fault. The thesis of the company hasn't changed, and all the utilities are still planned. And there's a big push in the next 2 to 3 weeks of five people I know putting in $1 million, and another 2 people I know on top of that putting in $1 million. So if I'm really trying to preach to people, this is just a short-term thing. I'm sure that they have contingency plans for this, where we'll get another exchange or multiple exchanges fairly quickly, because now you do have to worry about liquidity for the token. But I mean, I'm up to 182 now. I don't know about y'all. What are you guys doing in this scenario? Are you guys selling? Are you buying? Are you just staying?
well, tell me, Randy, maybe, you know a little bit more about this, or you do as well, Guido, but, what is the, best case and what is the worst case scenario? So, and maybe, like I said, this is kind of my ignorance. So, worst case is what? There's 22 billion tokens that go up for sale, and the price just bottoms. I mean, is that, do we know? Like, is that, have they been stolen? Or, I mean, what is the worst? Like, that's the worst case, right? They're stolen, or someone starts, just overflow the market, and then the price just goes down. Or are they gone out of circulation? Is that possible? They just turned the lights off and gone? Like, what's our best case scenario with this outcome, and what's our worst case scenario with this outcome? I mean, I'll put that out to either one of you, from what you know.
I'll defer to Randy.
Okay. So there's a couple of things here. You have all right, so best, worst, and most likely scenario. Worst case scenario, there's a less than 1% chance of that happening. The worst case scenario would have been is if they were hacked, OMI was taken out of, they were stupid and they didn't go after any Bitcoin, they didn't go after Ethereum, they didn't go after anything. OMI was moved out of the hot wallet, and they before the red flags were thrown up, before those beacons were lit, they could have maybe sold as much as they could on exchanges, but that didn't happen. Nothing's moved out of that hot wallet. All of the exchanges right now have been going and they're looking for that. They're looking for this OMI because again, BitForex had thrown out those red flags, those warnings. Nothing's been moved. So right now, in the worst case scenario that could happen, in the next they're insolvent, and in the next year or so, they could go and sell OMI to pay for their bills. Because essentially, what happens if they're insolvent, everyone that had money on there is a creditor, and they're likely not going to get paid because they'll sell what they can off to pay their bills, pay the debt collectors. But that likely wouldn't happen for several months, if not a year or more. Most likely scenario is that, well, that's it. That would be it. Best case scenario.
Either they sell it as the creditors. That's the worst case. Not necessarily it being stolen and dumped.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem like a hack. Even if it was a hack, it doesn't look like there's a. It just doesn't look like they got anything. Like there's no the only transfers that have been out have been to other wallets that you can track, and again that you can see exactly what that is, and that they haven't gone anywhere. They haven't dumped anywhere.
Where would they list it? I'm sorry.
The only place that they could do it without really going to jail is maybe like a decentralized exchange. Like they can do it on like Uniswap or like Energy Swap, and they can maybe get like 300,000. So that's not a lot. That's now it's maybe like 300 something million OMI because the price has gone down, but that's it. Because there's just enough liquidity in there to do that. That's it. They can't just dump 20 billion OMI, and the people that are going and saying, oh, they're going to dump 20 billion OMI, we're going to gain a zero. I'm going to try to be nice here about this. The people that are talking about that have never dealt with this before, and it's either their inexperience and they're just freaking out and having a knee-jerk reaction and they're panicking, or they actually know that can't happen and they are just trying to get the price lower, or they're trying to FUD because they don't like the company, for whatever reason. In general, the insolvency issue is probably most likely. Best case, so for the people, best case scenario is that they get bailed out somehow and the people get their funds back for the people on there. Best case scenario for the long term and for the greater good is that these tokens are essentially burned and they won't go.
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So either they're burned or they come into the market. But if they try to put up the $22 billion or 22 billion OMI and try to sell that, I mean, how would that, impact the price? I mean, wouldn't that be a big impact on the price of OMI?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what they sell it at. I mean, again, there's no liquidity down here. So even like, what is a billion OMI now? $750,000, give or take. I mean, unless you have somebody that has that much liquidity that's waiting to go and buy that up, they're not going to be able to do that. It's just going to sit there.
So it'll just sit there. Okay.
And then when people see that, billion or a couple billion OMI sell wall, they're like, oh, that's not going anywhere. The price is going to go down, and they're going to undercut it, and they're going to sell it. And again, the hyper successful people that are in it for the long term, they're like, let it go lower. Let's go to 0.0055. Let's go to 0.004. That's what they're hoping. It's likely not going to happen, but I feel bad because the people with that are reacting with emotion right now and not acting logically. They're the ones that are selling in the triple zeros, and in 5 months from now, none of this will matter.
Right.
I have my fingers, I think about, I think Dr. Stuff mentions it a few times about the best investors, according to Fidelity, are the ones that get locked out or they get locked out of their account because they're dead, and they end up being the best investors. So I'm hoping this portion of that I have on BitForex ends up falling into did I just go blurry?
Yeah, you got a little blurry. Not sure why.
Not sure why either. So I'm just hoping that it ends up being that's the case, that it ends up being that you can't touch it. So it just ends up the 5 months, year, 2, 3, however long FTX took to unwind, that the same thing happens to us, and all of a sudden it's a windfall come, in the future.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ditch my cam and come back.
Okay. Okie dokie. We'll be here. Oh, Omicron 2.5 million on
Oh,
BitForex.
there's a setting blurry. Did he do the blurry setting on the StreamYard?
Is there a blurry? Wait, there's no setting for blurry, is there?
Yes, there's okay. Yeah,
Wait, really?
yeah.
Yeah. So as far as the BitForex thing, like everyone that used to work for BitForex, they're completely changing their names. They changed the Telegram and they deleted all the stuff. It seems like the management team and CEO of BitForex, they're all like gone. Maybe we'll get another CEO announcement in a little bit, but it seems like if they do that, it's just kind of shining the knobs on the Titanic type of deal.
Is that better?
Yes, you
Okay.
are much better.
All right.
And be advised, we did get rumblings about BitGet, and I'm pretty sure BitGet was planned. And I mean, if people on blockchain go and discover, okay, well, like $80,000 worth of OMI was given to BitGet from this wallet that had like 30 billion OMI, and that sounds like the OMI development wallet. And the $80,000 that they sent there via OMI is their listing price. So most likely we're getting BitGet. Granted, that doesn't really help Americans. Americans really now only have Coinbase Wallet and Uniswap, and I guess MetaMask. But I guarantee you, the team has been worried about liquidity for the token for almost 2 years now, and have probably have one or two exchanges up their sleeves that they could roll out in the coming months to help with that. And guys, if you go and answer my tweet, that would really help, that I just posted saying how much OMI did you have on BitForex? That'd be great. Foster Hill's tweet, I guess I'll read real quick before we get started on this stuff. Guido, I don't know how much time you have. I'll try to be quick with this.
Yeah, Guido, did you even get an introduction? Like, is this your first stream?
It's my second stream being on with Randy.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought you'd never been on before. I'm sorry.
No, that's good.
Oh, I thought you were a little okay. Never
I
mind.
still am nervous. I'm not. It's definitely
okay.
not my comfort zone.
Okay.
Even a Zoom meeting with a few people is fine, but then to kind of watch myself back on YouTube is a little bit nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Will you watch yourself back on the playback?
You never watch your own streams?
No.
I hate the sound.
No, I hate watching my own stream. It's horrible.
Well, I think you guys do great, but compared to like the amount of times that I stutter or say it's frustrating.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
You're actually pretty good at it.
Oh, thanks, man. So I'll go and I'll read Foster's tweet real quick, and then we'll get on the rest of this bread. While there has yet to be any formal updates to the issues surrounding BitForex, I'm very grateful to Puddin Cheeks, who has taken the time to review all of the exchange's hot wallet data and included his findings below. After going over the data with him, I'm reassured by many of the findings. I would recommend that anyone who has been affected by the situation or is looking for more information to give his post a read. While it's important to note that the data does not provide an explanation to the cause of the issues with the exchange, it does show what I believe to be positive signs that the OMI tokens on the platform are secure and will hopefully be recoverable for users given time. I recognize how stressful this weekend has been for many in the community. We will continue to do our best to get more information for you as soon as it becomes available. So I would say the chances of them going and selling that are, I'd say, less than 5%. I'd even say like maybe 1% or less. Everyone seems to be pretty confident that it won't. I mean, if they were, they would have moved that already and they would have tried. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get more soon. But we are here today. What's up, Bill Gardner? Because we have a long time coming. We have Turtle Golf going and saying, "Hey, guess what? I won the Gold and Silver VV logo charity event." And you have the card with you, right?
I have the code with me.
Okay.
It's sort of a long story.
Okay. Do we have a backup code?
Thank you to MC1 for letting me into the Telegram group without actually having the code. So I've really enjoyed being part of the community and the group and the chat. So I've appreciated that.
Do we have a second code in case this code doesn't work?
Okay. So, okay, the joys of working with Al and David. All right. So, okay, the Pokemon sign cards from year one charity. We had to have them sent up, then sent to Al. Then Al signed them and had to send them back to us. And we sent them out, and then they were signed wrong. They were signed on the plastic sleeve. And then we had to get them back, and then we had to resend them, and then whatever. And then William and I had to drive to New York and take care of the signed cards. So, like, when it was all said and done, it was rough. So David and I have been going like back and forth with Guido, and did you send it and the address? And so finally, David like gave like a mea culpa, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I didn't send the card. How about if I send you a copy of the card, and then he could, reveal it, at least so he has it in tow, because he was traveling. He's been David travels a lot. He's like, and then, I'll send him all the stuff that comes with it. Is that a good compromise? And I'm like, yeah, I think we can make that work, David, So I'm talking with Guido and letting you know all this. And so I sent him an email the other day because he had asked for once you reveal it, he needs your number so that he can kind of check you off the list, Guido, and know that, this number went to you. So I said, hey, I'm sorry, Guido's, child got, he, got pushed up for a game and we weren't able to reveal it last week. So we're going to go on live and do it sometime this week. So within about an hour, and Guido, I haven't even told you this unless Randy, have you told him this? So
wait, what about what? I don't know what you're going to say.
So obviously you haven't then. So I get an email back from David.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
It's like, dear Lori, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. I just want to know, there's a small possibility that it may have been redeemed already. Once again, there's the smallest of possibilities. So if you're doing this on live, I want to warn you. And I'm like, it took everything in me not to respond back. Are you shitting me right now, David?
Well, I don't know where who mentioned it, and I think it was in the Gold and Silver Telegram group about the rarest thing in all of Veve in the future might be an unredeemed signed by David.
Oh yeah, he offered that, right?
Card. And
right. You could probably sell it for 10 grand.
What was that?
You could probably sell it for 10 grand right now if you wanted.
Yeah, it also comes with at least his offered signature, right? That was also part of the David response back. Tell him we'll sign it, So I'm thinking that might be a David and a Dan, signature and the card. So add that into it, Guido.
So I don't even know how to do the redeem, to be honest. Is that something that I do in is that a promo code?
Yeah.
Did I put that in where the promo code is?
Yes.
Right. All right, might as well go for it then, right? I think I'm ready to copy and paste and see if it's a valid.
Yeah, so on your profile, you go to where it says promo code and you put it in. Sometimes it takes a couple times.
Oh God.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. All right.
So while Turtle's doing that, Lori, did you get the drop today?
I did.
Oh,
and I just I just held on to it, Randy. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it quite yet. William has one and he crafted it, but I don't know. I just felt like being degenerative today and just going for something. So I just pulled up David's email. Okay, great. FYI, there's a small chance the logo may have been redeemed. I was checking my PAL, and there is once again a very small possibility it's been used. So, Guido, don't panic.
I'm not panicking.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Does it say already redeemed or just say couldn't redeem? Because there's a difference.
I'm gonna retry.
And check the caps and check the numbers, because William and I once spent a long time trying to redeem shoes because it was a 0. I was on the thing with Reese. I'm like, and Reese was like, Lori, you have something wrong. So
yeah, I'll try it one more time. I think I'm doing it right.
Are there any? So be advised, a lowercase L or what looks like a 1 could be a lowercase L, or it could be an uppercase I, as in India.
So, Lori, what you sent me was a screenshot of it?
That's what David sent me via email.
Can you send me the screenshot and I'll text him what I think it is?
To tide you over. I'm looking at it too right now. I just pulled it up.
You want to message me what you think it is, and I'll send back what I think
Lori,
it is?
send me that screenshot and I'll message him what I think it is.
There's only 2 letters in there. Yeah. Okay. Hold on, Randy.
So there's one. I'm not sure if it's a G or a C.
Yep. There's 2 of them like that I don't know.
Aljodaro's like, send me the screenshot too. We'll never see Aljodaro again.
All right, Randy, it's to you.
Oh, I got a text message. Okay. All right. Oh, Lord. Okay, hang on. And you're doing lowercase and uppercase, right?
With what looks to be uppercase and what looks to be lowercase, yes.
Okay.
So maybe we should have staged this better.
Oh no, this makes it more fun. Sucker charity winner. Get him by Queen Veve.
All right.
David, you.
So that second to last. Hold on. Let me copy and then paste this. I think I know what we got here.
You can't paste it. Really? That's a picture.
Oh, you think that's a 0, the second to last one? Instead of
yes.
Oh, I don't know.
So I pasted it to you, Turtle, and you should just be able to copy and paste that.
Okay.
And also my texts aren't sending. Oh no, we're good. It's sending.
Now I'm gonna get locked out of my Veve account for trying to spam a promo code.
I'll redeem it, and then I'll have someone go and send it to you somehow. Ow.
Don't do that. You will make it dirty. Remember, Virgin Mint.
That's true, Virgin Mint. Omar says that he had a easier time using it if he used the web app, and he did it that way. And I feel like the last time I did that as well.
Can you even do it? Yeah.
Best reveal show ever. Oh, I thank you. Yeah, Coinbase Wallet is super easy for buying more OMI. Don't worry about selling in the future. Nah, selling is pretty easy. And y'all have like 17 days left before me and my boys send it. Me and my boys are gonna go crazy.
I'm getting an interesting captcha now.
Oh, what's the captcha? Oh.
It says too many invalid promo code. Too many requests now.
No. All right, so
we'll have to come up with something else to talk about.
Okay. Well, there's a lot to talk about. I have a bunch of screenshots from today that I can keep on. Oh shoot!
Sorry,
right, my boy Mike had 9 million. Damn, my boy Mike had 9 million on BitForex. Damn. Okay. But we have all right. So today, I guess the easiest thing would be to go over the top 500 wallets here. Lori, you're in the top 500, right?
Oh, I don't think so.
How many collectibles do you have?
I have like 500 and 500 or some 500 comics, 500 collectibles.
Oh yeah, you're not.
He's got a lot more, but I buy more quality than quantity, Randy.
Yeah, I feel you. How I heard that subtle. What about you, Turtle? How many collectibles and comics do you have?
I was just pulling that up. I have 308 collectibles and 281 comics.
All right. So in the last week, we'll go with the most sold. We had Headhunter 246 that sold 69 collectibles. Everyone comment nice down below with the 69. We had Charlie NFT. Oh, I'm sorry. We had JS Bowers that sold 127 collectibles, and Beer Guy 33 that sold 202. We had Colonel Stats as far as the most purchased. Colonel Stats is the number 2 wallet now that bought 158 collectibles. We have the Husk Show that bought 166, and we have Bezojman that bought 361. Bezojman now has over 46,000 collectibles. In the next quarter, he'll reach 50,000, which is nuts. Yeah, these people are. There's some people that go and they buy hundreds of collectibles per week, and I just want to know what it's like to be in the 1% and to be able to buy that stuff every week. What have you guys been buying? Are you going for like MCP points to be master collector, or is it just like I'll buy what I like, whatever the best ROI is?
So I've switched to buying, more of what I like. It's watching the market ebb and flow. I feel like we're at a time where it's close to being where you want to be going for things, because I feel like it's like I'm listening to the people who are early on say like, oh, Todd's were still in the store, or Marvel Comics 1 was still in the store and you had that opportunity to buy it. I think it seems like we're getting back to that point where I'm going to look back and say like, oh my gosh, I could have bought, X, Y, and Z that were still in the store, and the cost per NCP point would be less than the $7 comic. So it seems like, there's going to be a bundle, it seems like the cost per MCP point is eventually going to go up. And then the more I think about the conversations that David's had about, you're going to have the ability to burn, you'll be able to bundle a bunch of comics together and then burn them. It only makes it so that the value of the comics is going to go up, and the value, the cost per MCP point will go up when you get that opportunity that they've spoken about to bundle a bunch of things together and then burn them for something that's better.
Yeah. Agreed. Like we had today, where you bought something for $40 and you could craft it for something that's worth $50. I actually haven't checked in a couple hours. I'll check right now. A jetpack crafted into the flying RoboCop is $40. That's insane. So I don't even have to buy the jetpack. I could just buy the thing for $41. That's at retail. And in order to get that, you had to have the original RoboCop. And the original RoboCop.
$40?
Yeah, they're selling it, and there's not a ton of them. So the original RoboCop, out of the 1,987, that means it's $18.97. It originally had a price of $60, and now it's at $87. And yeah, it's animated and it's cool, but the most recent drop, again, that had 1,797.
Yeah.
The most recent drop, this Robo Jetpack, has, out of the 1,897 minus 784, what's the 13? So there's 1,368 that are in circulation, and 619 that are burned. So you have a lot of. There's only 784 that are actually out there, and 619 that have been burned. So there's less than 1,000 of these. There's less than half of these new RoboCops that can fly and are interactive, as opposed to the old RoboCops that had more than double the. It's more than double the price, and more than double the supply for the old ones. That's really wild. I think these are pretty undervalued. Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah.
All right, so Turtle, I feel like whenever I go and I talk to, like the audience here, it's always, hey, this is what I would do. I can't tell you what to do. But obviously we've had Whale Week before. We'll have it again in October. So I'll tell you what I would tell my friends, or what I tell my whales. Take whatever expendable capital you have, and even capital that might be going to other things, and reallocate that towards OMI, and go and because it will double. It will double in the next 2.5 weeks, and then after that, at some point this year, it will double and triple again, getting it well over a penny. You'd be getting a 14x on your money if you go and buy right now in the next couple weeks. And by all means, it could go lower. We could go back down to 00055. But anything in the 000 is a godsend. And I'm telling you that because I know you and I love you, and I think you should get more.
But I at least have to replace the 7 million that I potentially lost on BitForex.
Yes.
So my plan is to kind of see how things do shake out, and then get more. I'm also chasing a couple other business opportunities that there's it's hard to pass up other real world opportunities when they cash flow well. It's sort of like when you it's sort of like listening to all the different business podcasts. And I like listening to the ones like My First Million, where they go through and they talk about someone who's looking at, can you buy a cash flowing business, and can you do it with little to no money down, and then you have I think it's Cody Sanchez, and she always talks about like laundromats or things where you can go and get cash flow in business. And I have a couple of opportunities right now that are in that realm, but cash flow really well. So it's almost like in real world, like I got to take some of those opportunities as well. And then I also like I think of the things that I do in the crypto side, whether it's Bitcoin and Ethereum to be the more stable ones, and then the more ones with the multiples like OMI, where it's kind of like my more like the Silicon Valley, finding a unicorn and trying to like get a multiple. So yeah. I like to have like both pipelines have some working with it.
I let's plug in the numbers here. Let's do the math. The TISM in me is taken over, where let's say you put in 25 grand into a business that you own a part of, and let's say it gets you $1,000 a week. You make back your principal in half a year, and you double that principal in the first business year. Okay, you take 25 grand, you get that money back, and you make another 25 grand on top of that in one calendar year. If you take that 25 grand in OMI, you are likely to get $250,000 in the next 15 months. That is going to supersede. And again, those are just the numbers I'm plugging in. I imagine you might have something that you could put into with a lower capital allocation and possibly get more. But if you don't have to say what it is, but plug in those numbers.
But let's run some of those numbers.
Yeah.
So you said $25,000, and so you said 10. A 10x.
Oh well, no, the 25,000 would be 100x. So you get not 250, you get 2.5 million out of that.
Okay. So on short-term capital gains on 2.5 million, I'd have to pay 40%. 40, maybe probably closer to 50. So now I'm down to 1.
And that's not short-term.
Well,
which you likely would wait for over a year, because like you're not going to want to sell in December, lock in the short-term capital gains, and then have to pay it in April. Just a few months later. You're likely going to want to save it until March, April, and then not have to pay for another year after that.
Well, it's a full full calendar year you're going to hold.
Yeah. So yeah.
So, but let's say that I do want to look at something like that. So, I guess are we? Hold on, getting a text message. Just
Tell him I said hey.
We're getting a text message from Lori.
She's telling us to stop talking.
No, I wanted to send it.
Left out here.
I wanted to send. I sent David an email, and I'm like, "This isn't working."
No, don't do that. What time is it in New Zealand? It's like the worst time.
I don't care. Wake up.
Jordan's on you, but what time is it in New Zealand? It's got to be like.
He's up. We were just texting like during the show. He the reason why I posted the thing on Twitter is because he's like, I'm trying to figure out or what did he say? Can you tell me how much you have in BitForex? Trying to identify how it's possible so much OMI was on BitForex in the first place. Yes, we can ask around, and then I won't say the rest, but yeah. So he's up. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't want to wake up. I don't want to wake him up for it. Although there is a deadline for the hats. I'm thinking tomorrow is that. I think I told if I want to get a hat with the Veve gold and silver logo, I got to have the information by tomorrow. But,
it's not okay.
I'm okay, but it's okay either way. We'll figure it out. I'm not concerned. So kind of bouncing back, back a little bit, Randy, to the story. If it does 100x and the 25,000 becomes 2.5 million,
and then let's say you have to pay half of that in taxes, it's only 1.25 million.
I think the scenario, that might be, what if there was a scenario that said something like this? You could take the $25,000 and you could leverage that $25,000 to a business that's doing 2.5 million in revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And you then leverage you do like a leverage buyout where you're taking paper on the note, and then you can put a lot of money in your pocket, and then everything from that business you could do as a tax write-off. You could be incurring tax write-offs. So there's things to be doing on both. I think on both sides of the coin.
That's true.
And I think right now, if OMI does 100x, I'm fortunate and blessed, and things have worked out well for me. If OMI does 100x, that's great. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could do to leverage that money for good. And I guess if it does 100x, is there really a difference between having, what's the real difference between having 50 million OMI, 100 million OMI, or 200 million OMI?
That's fair.
It's not. I don't think the level of lifestyle that it's not gonna drastically change. If I had 1 billion OMI and it went to, now you're talking like that's where you become like you sit at a different table. You get invited to, that would be the kind of money you get invited to Davos. Like, I don't think I want to go. I don't think I would. I don't think I would want to go.
I mean, on the business end, where obviously you could do a little bit more, especially with the write-offs. Are you doing any work on that business end? Because I mean, with OMI, you don't have to worry about anything. You just let David and Dan and me and everyone else take care of it.
Yeah. So on the business side, would I? I'm involved with like 3 or 4 different companies, different ownership stakes in them, and then I'm trying to mentor and help out a couple other people get startups going. And this other one is just, it kind of got, so I co-own a manufacturing company, and strategically it makes sense to take on this other business, which would be warehousing and rigging for the type of equipment that we build. So there's there's strategic advantages for me to be taking on this other project that I'm looking at.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I see that.
So and it could have a multiple. If we now become a company that not only can make the equipment, but we can help factories do the relocating, it puts us up into another level of what we're capable of.
So the time that you'd put in would be worth it if everything.
It has the potential. It's something that I can't just say.
No, yeah.
It's something where I can't say, well, I have this OMI that might be worth 100x in the future. I don't need to take a look at these projects.
That's fair. Lori, have you moved the rest of your 401k into the crypto rollover IRA? Not yet.
Not yet. It's getting there.
I have a question for you on that, and the whole BitForex thing has me concerned, because I don't know if you're okay, Sha. Did you do that with I Trust Capital?
I did.
Yeah, I did. So aren't we in the same boat where that's not our keys, that's not our crypto? And like I really don't know. I mean, I had a little bit of money. I had a little bit of money in BitForex. There's a substantially larger chunk on I Trust Capital.
I thought I had the same thought today. And I need to figure that out, because I had the exact same thought. Yeah.
Well, assuming I Trust Capital is an American company that is doing right by their people, they're not running afoul of any laws, and they're doing things by the book. Assuming everything's all well and good, they're not going to be told by the government, hey, you need this new license that's going to cost you X amount of money, and let's say I guess BitForex just didn't have enough in the war chest to cover everything. But assuming that this company's been around for 20, 50 years, You guys will probably be fine.
Probably as long as FTX.
Nervous laughter.
No, yeah. See, I sit here and say I have the tolerance for 4 million OMI to just be gone. And I do. I'm okay with that. I mean, you're never okay with losing money, but it's okay. But my tolerance for losing that, would no but yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat, Lori. And
Yeah.
it sounds like we were probably on a similar trajectory. So I would look at what capital do I have? And when just got lucky when Bitcoin bottomed, I'm like, well, it just seems like it's close to the bottom. I got to put more capital in. I was like, oh, I got this 401k.
Yeah.
This from like when I was much younger, like what why don't I roll that? It was already an IRA. Why don't I roll this in? Everyone else on the the circuit of crypto talk shows is talking about I trust capital. So I'll just roll into this I trust capital.
Yeah.
And then it doubled. Then it doubled. Right now, like, oh well, now it's like some decent money.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
So now it's like, oh, wait a second. I just went through this, like, I lost a little bit of money with BitForex. I don't want to lose a substantial chunk of money with I Trust Capital.
And that's why I started with looking at Fidelity, because they do offer, but not for IRAs. So that's kind of where my search started, because we tend to think like if it's a Fidelity or if it's, and when I realized, they didn't have one, that's where I Trust came in. But it's like, what does I Trust do if whatever exchange they're on goes down? Like, is it the same thing? And I'm kind of thinking it probably is Guido. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I don't like. Yeah.
So if anyone in the comments has reassuring comments for using I Trust Capital, please let us know.
Please stand up. Please speak up.
Yeah, well, I'll ask people about that for y'all. Wes, this was like a few months ago where we had a open, or what's that called, auction for people to go and silent bid their stuff.
Yeah.
And Toro was just happened to be the biggest silent bidder.
Yes, we ran a silent auction, Wes, and the charitable bidder went to the First Responders Children's Foundation, which Al is the founder of, and his wife Jillian is the CEO, and it goes and benefits children of fallen first responders in various ways. So Guido was our big winner, with a healthy bid of 60. I think it was ended up being 6,400. Yeah. So hopefully, yeah. I mean that pays off. Right now, it's looking like a good bid with assuming we can get the logo.
I told my wife, I was like, Mary, like, you're gonna see like one more big Veve charge, a related item out there.
Is it an Apple device you're using? Apparently, you need to close the tab, Safari, open Chrome, web app, and see if that works. It did for Omar.
I tried both my PC and
you tried the web app. And I'm just worried about the two that can be, the number, the letter, the letter, that's the thing, because I know we tried one time. And like I said, I was texting Reese and I'm like, I was like angry, like this code isn't working and this is a chip. And, we had to do the I's and the L's, and it's just like, why wouldn't they standardize that? Like moving forward, they need to figure that out, because that is, if this card is really good and it's just that, it gets very frustrating. But either way, we'll get that card.
It's like we'll need it's like a long version of a TikTok. We'll need a part 2, a part 3, and a part 4.
Right? Yeah, that was our plan, actually. We just wanted you to keep coming on.
I'm game. I'm in. So another piece of news, Immutable earlier this morning, about 10 hours ago, said Immutable is inevitable. And they showed a really big picture with all their stuff, like Illuvium, even though like I think their CEO had stepped down, they showed this giant ecosystem of all of these different brands that they have, and Veve's like nowhere to be seen. So everyone in the comments like, "Where's Veve, bro? Where's Veve? Why aren't you representing Veve?" I don't know why. I just see like, in order to use the Immutable X marketplace and everything, you probably have to pay a fee. But just because we're on Immutable X and we're not using their marketplace, we don't have to pay that. So I feel like it's just like they're not getting anything out of us, and that's why. Do you think it's just like maybe they forgot to include us, or is it just like they're petty that we're not using their marketplace and we're not interoperable yet?
Petty. Just petty businessmen doing petty things.
I think there's always a reason for some of those things. Yeah, and I think I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think there's something to be said for Immutable and Veve not yet having the ability to transfer assets off. And I think there's going to be in the future where Veve's prominent on there, and the ability to unlock more of those features that Immutable does allow. Yeah, I think that is I think we're gonna look back in 5 years and be like, oh my gosh, like remember when we couldn't do X, Y, and Z? And I think even if you were to look back over the last 2 years, there's a lot of things where we could look back and say, oh my gosh, like we used to not be able to do those things not that long ago.
I'm going to be a little salty when we're, I don't know, Veve's worth like a couple billion again. And then Immutable says like, oh yeah, Veve, we're a big partner of Veve. And then just try to use our name for clout just to get people in their ecosystem. I'm going to be big mad when they go and do that. Like, how dare you?
So I know David's going on a podcast with Metamona coming up, and on
the 29th.
That's going to be with the CEO of Pudgy Penguins and the person from Cryptoys.
Yes.
And does Pudgy what blockchain does Pudgy Penguins use? Are they on Flow or are they on?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
I know
if there's some ties to like some of the some of those questions that that her line of questioning might be able to connect more of the dots that are going on behind the scenes.
Oh, maybe. I mean, we have last time she had asked him about exchanges, and he said like, well, we talked to all of the top tier exchanges, and that they were waiting on them. And then like 2 weeks later, the BitGet thing was happening. So I don't know if, assuming they have that all planned already, or maybe David kind of spoke before he was supposed to, like, okay, now we have to do this. I don't know. But I'm really curious to see what she asks him and what he says. Supposed to have a big announcement in March. And me and Laura were trying to go over yesterday or 2 days ago which one it was supposed to be, and we can't figure it out. What do you think, Darryl?
What do I think? So I've always wanted to go to South by Southwest. I never knew it was that $1,800 just to walk in the door.
Yeah,
that's a little bit above like my my taste. I think in the future I see a path where an event like that would be something that I find a way to have a business that then writes that off as an expense, but I'm not quite there yet. And I don't know if it's the music vertical. It seems like that event there's more to that. It's more to them being at that event than meets the eye at this point. That's what there's the combination of the jukebox, at the music festival, and there's a disconnect between them doing a Marvel comic related release. I don't know. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit together, and it has me very curious.
I'm pretty sure
senses are tingling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're going to announce multiple new Marvel comics on Veve. Like they'll be like, okay, let's say we put out 500,000 comics each month for new issues. We'll still put 450,000 comics out there, and 50,000 will be on Veve. I'm really hoping they do something like that, because that one, like, you see Disney out there on Cryptoys, you see Disney out there on Flow with their Pinnacle stuff. You don't see Marvel out there anywhere, because Marvel has that exclusive contract with Veve. They're not allowed to put their stuff anywhere else. So why not lean into that and just say, all right, we'll just use you as a conduit for all of our digital stuff. Makes a lot of sense.
I think it's, both Marvel has a vested interest in it, and so does Veve, of selling more Marvel related products. So anything that they could sell, if it's new comics and they could sell them as, new comics, they should, anything that they should be, anything they can do to increase revenue. If Veve is the exclusive, is it exclusive digital collectible comic and collectible and comic avenue for them to sell things, then they should figure out other, a pipeline and other avenues to increase that revenue. And the selling brand new comics first run makes sense.
Yeah.
What would go in line with that then, Randy?
Well, it would be the new Ultimate X-Men, because they're rebooting them. And that's not something that's done at the drop of a hat. That's something that's done with months, if not like a year or so of planning. And Peach Momoko is doing the design for the new Ultimate X-Men. So if you have, and she's a Veve fan favorite. So if you have them announcing something else, and even on their description for that, they say, Marvel and Veve are doing this panel here to discuss the future of the X-Men. It's like, oh, okay, well, new Ultimate X-Men coming out. They're discussing that future. Yeah, this is, it looks like it's shaping up to be what they're going to release that new stuff partially on Veve.
So we take that a step further. What does it look like, kind of putting together all the pieces where we're at together, and technology wise? So right now it seems like what Veve does is, like, they have physical statues like the Todd, or part of the
that'd be
statue.
DC, but yeah.
What?
That'd be DC, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
So, but that's where they're kind of getting, they have a lot of what they're doing is coming off from the physical world, like a physical collectible. What does that look like for Marvel as they're rebooting this X-Men? Does that mean there's completely new, is that, so it sounds like there's a possibility that we have completely new comic books dropping first as NFTs. Yeah, are there completely new collectibles then that would have never been released before that then drop? And then does that allow for a digital combination again as well?
So there are new characters, and it's you are going to have a reset. There's going to be some of the same old characters, but there's also going to be newer characters that have never before been created. They've never been around before, and it could do one of two things. It could be received really well, or it could be received horribly. So I'm really hoping it does really well with it. We'll see. I'm hoping this is one of the things that Marvel's doing to kind of be like, okay, we hear you, and our movies have not been as good lately. We're going to try to pivot. I mean, and they're going back to kind of their old roots. They already have the X-Men 97 that they're doing now, that'll release this year. So it seems like they're really trying to make a better product.
And what are Lori, what are your thoughts on where the comic book side could go? Do you collect on Candy as well, the DC platform?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think there's a possibility that Veve Marvel do something similar, but it's a step or an evolution beyond what Candy's doing, with kind of like allowing the users to create the comic books?
Well, I guess from the first standpoint, I think it would be really cool if it came out first as the digital collectible, and then you got the comic. That would really, I think, start to, establish those ties between the physical, and the digital. And that would be a good for Veve, and I think good for Marvel too, to see how, they feed off each other. You know what I mean? They both work together. As far as the part about writing your own story and stuff, like me personally, but I don't like really get I don't see that. Like, so Sally's dress was red, peach, orange, or red. Like, I don't, I don't know. To me, that's it. But I do like the idea of the dropping them as collectibles and then getting the physical if you want it versus the other way.
Yeah, I would like. I mean, I guess both. However they decided to do it, I'd be fine with. I mean, these would be the first appearances of any character that'd be first on the blockchain. It's not like, hey, the first appearance of the character was 30, 50, 80 years ago, and here's the first appearance on the blockchain. It's their first appearance of the character anywhere. So that would be really cool to get.
It would be cool to get.
There's also a chance that they transition some of their, or start to transition their Marvel Unlimited app, which has like millions of downloads, and they start transitioning them to Veve, because you could buy it's a one-time sale with Marvel Unlimited. You pay X amount of dollars a month, and right. That's it. You get to read like 30,000 comics or whatever. But on Veve, it's a lot easier for people to be like, all right, let me buy this for $5, this for $8, this for whatever. Okay, I'm done reading it. I'll sell it for $2, and the comic readers probably won't care about MCP. And somebody's like, okay, well, I get this comic book for $1. Sure, I'll get it because it's it's an MCP coin, or it's a rare. I can get it for like $4. There's gonna be a lot of arbitrage there, and even though that they make like a couple of cents per comic, they're likely, multiply that by 10,000 people. Okay, well, that's another line item that they could use. Right. And that's not included, and that's just people we have now, not including the people that we have that we get over the next.
Right now, right? It's like a library, right? Like right now, it's like a library, whereas now you're putting the digital ownership in it. I think you're right. That would be a little bit more appealing. I mean, yes, you probably do have the people that just want to read and read and read and read, but a lot of these collectors, etc., they want to read it and then they want to own it, right? So, and then Randy, like you said, if they don't like it or whatever, it gives them the opportunity. You're not taking a bunch of comic books back to the store. You're not throwing them away. You're not burning them. Hey, you could still maybe get $1 or maybe, so I think it's a really good way to kind of, tie comic book collectors, readers, etc., into the digital.
Well, you Turtle, what's going through your head?
What's going through my head is, so I listened to the All In podcast, and I forget the name of the AI platform that came out recently.
There's a bunch. There's Grok, there's Sora, there's Maggie, there's
the one that does video, and it's
that's Maggie.
So whatever the one is, it does video, and it does video like you could say something like, I want to see a woman walking down the streets of Tokyo, and you can set the setting, and it will give you. You saw that?
Yeah, it's on TikTok.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So what's going through my head is so AI is going to become. We're just scratching the surface of where this is going. So again, kind of like my mind goes back to this, this partnership with Marvel, and how is that going to be leveraged in the future, where it could be something like, write me an alternate, anything that the user wants to say. And because Veve has the partnership with Marvel, they could then sell you that even as a one of one, like, hey, you create, like, this was your AI, and it created you a whole comic book based on your story, or based on you wanted to continue a different plot line of your favorite comic book series, but written through the lens of someone else. And the whole, with having the whole library at their disposal of IP, what AI is going to allow them to do for content creation and selling is going to be a multiple of anything that they're doing now. I'm kind of curious. I mean, I guess like even if you want to go as far out as I think everyone always envision kind of like when they get comic books in the showroom that maybe you'd be able to open them up and there'd be some sort of interactive piece of that. Mm-hmm. That in the future that will happen. Like that AI will be able to do that in the not distant future. So is that kind of what they get? Maybe that's the big that to me would be something that would be, kind of like the technology is probably there and like would be like a mind-blowing technology, like comic books fully animate. You're in the Veveverse and you're looking at this comic book and it just comes to life for you. So
another
that's not good. I don't. Yeah, I think the technology,
oh my
is, but like, I think that's what's so exciting about Veve, about OMI being tied to it. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
Sora.
Do you guys know what shipping is?
Like
romance?
Yeah, so Lori might know because she has a teenage son. Shipping is when, let's say, the new Avatar series is on Netflix now, and it's a remake of the show that came out like 20 years ago in the 2000s on Nickelodeon, and there are some people that want to take two different characters that are not romantically involved, and they want to make believe that they're in a relationship, and it's known as shipping.
Oh, okay.
And then if it happens in the series, like, oh, my ship has sailed because it's happening. So there is, well, I mean, I'll just pick Super Smash Brothers. Had like the longest, what's it called, fan fiction of like 100,000 pages of someone just coming out with content every day and just writing and posting it. I would say there's I'll kind of quote Quagmire here from South Park. Fan fiction is a lot like Saturday Night Live skits, where most of it is trash and some of it is okay, but every now and then you get this one that is beautiful and it's elegant and it's just perfect. And you have to read through a lot of shit. It's finding a needle in a haystack. And if you go and you talk about AI using it, like, you don't have to be crappy at this anymore. You could tell it what you want it to do. It'll do it. It'll write it for you. ChatGPT will write it, and then Sora will go and animate it for you. And yeah, there's so many industries that are about to be disrupted from Netflix. That's probably going to be kicked out of FANG because of this. It's going to be porn that's just going to disrupt OnlyFans. I know a couple of girls I talked to that are absolutely worried about this after I told them about it. And it would be just Hollywood in general. Lori, don't give me that. don't shake your head at me, Lori.
Always looking out for the porn stars, aren't you, Andy?
Why would you go and pay $20 a month to some girl on OnlyFans that might give you like one kink out of like the 20 you have, when you can just go to AI and it looks better than anything else? But all right, do this for me, and then it just does it for you. There's so many industries that will be disrupted. This is gonna be wild. Yeah. And let me remind you that a year ago, David was on a stream.
I was with you. Yes. And I did the same thing when you did it then. I went,
wait, what?
When you asked him about, I was there when you asked him about if you were going to be getting any kind of risque material.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to mention that part. It's nice to see where your mind goes, though, Laura.
He did.
He's like, David, do you plan on having X-rated digitals on there? Because, like, right now, and like, else I'll be looking for, and I'm like, Randy, shut up.
So what I was going to say is that he was on a stream with Binance New Zealand, and and somebody had asked him, I don't know who, it was a really good question. It's like, hey, something about ChatGPT and AI, and he's like, oh, we plan to incorporate that in our characters in the Veveverse. So if you can go in and say like, hey, here's a vision, or here's a Wanda Maximoff, here's this really cool Marvel character, and they don't just have 3 lines of dialogue as an NPC in a video game, but you could actually have conversations with them. Like, what was it like to lose your memory? What was it like to come back as someone whose memory was supposedly wiped? And then they just have this conversation with you because they're answering as if they were Vision from the MCU. Jesus, no one's ever going to want to leave.
Humanity is over. We're over. We are going to be the last great generation.
I'm sorry. I do go to I got a jet here.
Okay.
It's getting late. Okay. I don't know. We'll have to connect tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say I want to connect before we get off because Well, I guess we can't.
I mean, you guys have each other's Twitter, right?
Yeah, I just want to make sure, Guido, that with the couple of variables that we do everything. I already sent the email, but like then if we get another one and it's like that one ends up working, like I just want to make sure those two characters that are in question we tried all possible sequences for those.
So I don't think I can try and
anymore.
Yeah, it's saying max. I got an error last time.
Yeah, Randy, do you know?
What?
What?
Do you know if you're just like not allowed to put in code so much time because they don't want people just like, that would seem strange though.
I don't know. If you've tried it the way that Omar said, and you tried it on like the Safari, Chrome app, whatever. I mean, we tried on a computer.
No, I'm worried about the characters. That's all.
Oh, I don't know.
The second from the last and the one in the middle, that they're so similar. So you have to try it like.
Yeah, try.
I think someone in the chat said that they would decipher it for us. So I just posted.
No, I mean that's my only thing. But maybe I could send it and get confirmation. I don't know. He hasn't got back to me though. I did email him though.
I don't know. Let's not worry about it, and we'll figure it out.
We'll try again.
Oh, these guys are gonna be the death of me. I swear, no good deed goes unpunished.
So I know, Turtle, you have to bounce. Lori can stay on, or you have you got a family, you got a tent. Oh, you have work tomorrow, don't you?
I do. I actually have to go to work tomorrow, and we do have around the. Well, are you going to be on Around the Comiiverse tomorrow?
I don't know yet. It depends on how the day unfolds.
Okay.
I'll let them know. Do you have it? You're going?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll be there tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be very interesting tomorrow on Around the Comiiverse.
Cool beans.
Well, Guido, we'll touch base, and I'll let you know. Yeah, we'll touch base.
You know what I can do, Lord? I'll do a support ticket. What do you think? Do you want me to do that and send them the card? Do you think?
I don't know. Let me see what happens over the next couple hours here. I sent the email. I'm like, we're on. What do you want me to do?
Yeah,
so
I'm getting a message.
Then if he sends me a new one and it works for you, I'll send a support ticket for the original one, and then we'll just get to. No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay. So I'll.
It says right now invalid promo code. Too many requests. So
I don't know what that means. Invalid promo code, but okay. We'll talk tomorrow though. I'll let you know what kind of feedback I get, and then yeah.
All right, I'll hang on for a little bit, answer everyone's questions, and then I will catch you all later.
Guido.
Bye, guys. Bye. See you guys.
Gold Dragon Logo Club, Gold Dragon Club. Check the availability for Whale Week in October.
Yeah, I'm trying to coordinate that with. I want to make sure that we have rooms where everyone's going to be.
Oh, are you going to NYC? I did want to ask you that, Guido. Are you going to be in NYC?
I'm planning on being at NYC, and we're trying to do a Gold Dragon logo giveaway for that same time as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'd be a chance to meet the whales.
Yeah. So hopefully I'm gonna try to go, take the train down and stay a couple extra days this time. It was fun, really good time. The community is great. I think Patient Hodler recently, when he came back from Crypto XR, when he kind of explained like it's hard to explain the joy and fun it is to be part of the community, and it doesn't really come across unless you go to the events. And then it's hard for, I think, anyone who goes to a real event to kind of talk about, like, I don't know, like just meeting everyone, hanging out at Comic-Con, going to the after parties. I'm not the type of person that would rent a hotel room and stay with a stranger, but I did. Like, I had never met Mike from the Gold Dragon Collectors Club, who runs it, and we kind of both wanted to go. And I'm like, well, the hotel rooms are pretty expensive. What do you think about staying in the same hotel room? And it was just a fun and really good experience.
Now,
Yeah,
did
some
you
people even share beds with fellow.
Indian
I don't know
foster.
who would share a twin bed in New York City.
me,
Foster and Randy.
me and the current Akomi community manager? Who else can say that they slept in the same bed with the Akomi community manager? Like claim to fame now.
Oh,
That'll be definitely a one day.
absolutely.
So,
Okay, well, I'm gonna go to.
and Lori, thank you so much for all the work that you did, for the charity. Yeah, I think the key thing is the money is going to the right, cause, and the money is being used to support kids who's lost their parents and who are first responders, and that there's a spot in my heart that touches immensely, and that's the key part. Whether I get a when I get the card and the NFT,
When?
that's not
No,
the important thing.
no. Yeah,
So
but
thank you again for all your
we'll
work. I
take
know
it.
running those events and dealing with the the inbound and the outbound. It becomes a job, and I appreciate the work that you did. Thank you
Well,
so
thank
much.
you. I appreciate it.
Bye,
And
guys.
it'll all work out. I
Yeah,
promise. I
I'm not,
promise it'll
I'm
all
not,
work out.
I'm not at all worried.
Yeah, they just like to do this to me. I think Al and David just enjoy messing with me, but that's okay. That's okay. We're all good. All right. Good night.
Bye,
And
good night.
Randy, good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Talk to you later. Bye, guys. All right. Now it is just the Randy Chavez show. Updates on BitForex. Likely insolvent. I'll go and read the articles here real quick. Let's see what we have here. If Hong Kong warns crypto exchanges to apply for license by 29 February, Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, the SFC, has issued a stern warning to crypto exchanges to apply for virtual asset trading platform or a VATP license by 29 February or face closure by 31 May. The SFC's warning came on 5 February as Hong Kong continues its efforts to establish itself as a crypto hub while also cracking down on illegal activities in the industry. The regulator has pledged to improve public awareness of crypto and investment scams to protect investors. To date, only 2 crypto exchanges in Hong Kong have received approval to offer services to retail investors, OSL and Hashkey Exchange. 14 firms have applied for licensing, but their applications are still being processed. Exchanges that fail to apply for license that are found to be operating illegally face the prospect of being shut down. The SFC urged investors to check if the platforms they use have applied for a VAT-P license. Exchanges that have not applied for a license are advised to close their accounts or transfer a SFC license VAT-P before 31 May of 2024. The regulator cautioned that using crypto exchanges that have not been approved carries a risk, as an application does not guarantee approval. The SFC strongly encourages investors to trade virtual assets only on SFC licensed VAT-Ps to protect themselves. The warning comes amid ongoing investigations into several platforms in Hong Kong, including crypto exchange JPEX and 12 other platforms that are listed suspiciously on the website. So it is likely that BitForex was just unable to go and have that fee. They didn't go and apply for that for unknown reasons. They didn't apply to it because they knew they were doing something shady. They likely should never have gone on and offered it to American investors in general. You were never able to KYC on there, or you didn't have to KYC to use it. So again, it seems that train has kind of gone on and ended. Bill Gardner, give me those dabs. What up, fam? Do it. Revive BitForex. Yeah, just really curious to see why David, why people in general. I mean, I guess it's really hard to know what why they had so much on there. They had like 7 or 8% of OMI on the exchange, and we're not sure why. Because everyone that I've talked to, they have several 100,000 or a couple million OMI. There are a few people that have 10 or tens of millions of OMI, but I haven't seen anyone there that really had over like 40 or 50 million. Most people had, again, hundreds of thousands or low millions. Let's go, Smarty Pants. Not looking good. Bought almost 2 hours for the hack. Nice. VV takeover. How low can it go? The next support line is 00055. So we might see that. We might stay up here in the 0007s. Who knows? Tomorrow, a lot of things start happening. So we will see exactly what that brings. The markets are opening and just political stuff. The news cycle begins. So we'll see tomorrow. Slowly but surely, VV will be a household name. Read 100%. Got to keep the sentiment up. Only a matter of time. Honestly, I would never do this, but I if I wanted to, I could FUD the heck out of, like, how many people outside of me are making positive content every day? I don't think anyone. And I could go and I could make the biggest heel turn, cause everybody to sell, make the price go down to 0004 just so me and my boys can get it super cheap. I'm not going to do that because that's the wrong thing to do. And the fudders and the liars are just going and doing a very good job of that themselves. I don't need to do that. I can play the good guy and say, listen, guys, you can listen to these unsuccessful, low IQ, not a lot of money in the bank account fudders and liars. Or you could listen to me and all my whale friends, and this is where the money's going. Money is going to buy this token. Money is going into this project. And you could set, like, why would you go? The best thing, one of the best things in life I ever heard from was my friend Vinny Pappalardo, who would say, find someone who's in a place in life where you want to be. You do what they do, and one day you'll have what they have. I'm telling you guys, and you see it. You don't have to listen to me. Look at Crypto Rain. Look at Mr. MC1. Look at all of these. Look at Dr. Profit. Look at these other hyper successful people. They're already I'm pretty sure Dr. Profit's like 100 billionaire, if not a billion, or 100 millionaire, if not a billionaire by now. You know what they're doing. You know what they're investing in, and you're not doing it. Like, you have a cheat sheet. You have a cheat code of getting some of the best ROI ever. It doesn't have to be from me. Look at all of these other people going and seeing what they're investing in. And yeah, it's Veve, but it's OMI, heavy into OMI. And you're doing the opposite of what super successful people are doing. Like, that's a surefire way to lose. And I kind of feel bad for them a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, there's a hard lesson to learn, and you're going to learn it. And again, rich get richer. It's the people that are buying while the fear is high. We're being greedy while that fear is high, and we're going to be patient with that. And patience always pays off. Fortune favors the bold, but money flows from the impatient to the patient. Sentiment up. Yep. Energy. Puddin' Cheek. I did read Puddin' Cheek's tweet. It was very good. Hey crew. What's up, Omar? What's up, Prince? Dan Petre. Give me that lap. Oh, I say hi, friends. Hope all are well. Had 2.5 million OMI on BitForex. Damn, 10 times. James Brown says BitForex support themselves. Have said they are in the dark with news. One seemed to have quit. Hazel had changed their name like multiple times. A bunch of people from their Discord and Telegram groups have changed their name. Heckin' wild. I was saying BitForex must have had it for the people to purchase OMI. I don't know what was going on there. I'm not 100% sure why these things played out the way they did. What could have stopped it? This OMI, though, considered locked up for now. OMI hasn't moved, but many others did. Agreed. Tom says timeline thoughts for new exchanges. I think you get not BitForex, BitGet within the next couple of weeks. I think we get that in March. But our son says I also had OMI on BitForex. Ooh, sorry, fam. Yeah, 22 billion OMI is currently locked, which it could be a really big burn for us. White Rabbit says Foster Health's recent tweet is promising. Check it out. I did, White Rabbit. Mark Sajay says there are many people, 17.35 million OMI. Yeah, I did see a couple of those people, but I don't think enough to really have 22 billion. Maybe there are, and I just haven't seen them all yet. Telegram people mentioned, hopefully, I hope he did. Hope it's all gone. Big J78 says that OMI is not locked. The exchange can access it because it's in their custody. They haven't moved it. They haven't unlocked it. It's locked. Sleepin says, hello, what up, Sleepin? One more saying, there was a telegram that a person's being optimistic of the situation, and 3 trolls are blaming Comey and Veve because trolls are virgins and they sleep alone at night, and that's all they have to do to get enjoyment out of their dull lives. Vijay says, yes, the exchange can attempt to sell them whenever they want. If it's some type of liquidation event, I think maybe, but that's going to be quite a while. I was saying Foster and Puddin' Cheeks are on the research. Troy Perez says, how much is the fee to swap it on Coinbase? You could do $500 on Coinbase, and it might be like 15 or 20 bucks. or you could swap $5,000 on Coinbase and it would be like 40 bucks. So generally, the more you do on Coinbase, the better, up to a certain amount. Bogarner says, what up? Trade it. Video Mom says, put in cheeks while analysis about folks is good. Agreed. Matt Johnson says, I listened to Randy and took my OMI off of the exchange. Thank you. I've been preaching I feel like I've been screaming from the hilltops about it. The CEO has been left since January 31st. No one knows. Agreed. If all the money wiped out of BitForex is a hack theft, even if they didn't take OMI, that won't go back to owners. Police will take over remaining assets and sell all to make all victims partial whole. Again, this does not look like a hack at all, so I'm not sure what they do in this scenario. There's a lot of super easy. Wish more people knew about it. I've been screaming from the hilltops trying to get people. They haven't. Roberto says, zero OMI on BitForex, still worried about being able to sell in the future. You could sell on a bunch of other different exchanges. You don't really need BitForex. Phil Gardner, what's up? Aludero says, Trevor's best reveal show ever. I thought it was a really good reveal show. I really enjoyed it. We'll get to the rest of the comments here. Remember, I have a hard time with it until I close tabs. Yep, he tried that. Had unknown server error or doing the support. To win the gold card, basically what they had to do is we had a silent auction. We'd have just bid the most, and he won. I was saying, is it an Apple device being used to redeem the logo? Yeah, he tried that before. Hi, Johnson. Thank you for being a member. Saying, does Coinbase also have gas fees when you swap? They do. And we're saying you can get Jetpack for 35 and Crafty have the cop. Alongside is RoboCop. Jordan Reeves is Yo Boys and Girls. And we're saying old one first appearance in Jetpack will be more scarce, I think. Maybe. Oh, says Randy, are you saying that because your whales are buying or something big will be announced soon? They are buying a little bit now. They will buy a lot more in about 17 days. In 17 days, we'll see some big candles. And we're saying, what happened to Lori? She's good. She's chill. I saying cash flow is great and extra income can be used to invest in many ways. Agreed. Mama says maybe it's a OMI Robinhood and they send all the OMI to the burn wallet. That'd be amazing. We'll see. Jake XRP says, yo. All right, OMI is this free. Let's see what we have here. We have on OMI right now, because that was 46. That was 40 minutes ago. Let's check what it's at right now. 0007427. I like it in 00006s. We'll see. Coinbase says Pudgy Penguins is your typical ETH on NFT on OpenSea. They are big time, and to see them passing Bored Apes. That'd be interesting. Hey, Mr. MC1, we did not yet. Your trees says, what's that? 392,949,117 million burn going to a null wallet. Page 4, about 2 hours, 50 minutes ago. I tried looking over the BitForex wallet a while ago, but never found it. Interesting. Pick up those 1 and 2 series collectibles. Could be worth something in the future, especially series 1. Yeah, a bunch of these will. I was saying, did you try the? Yep, he did. First Last says the previous statements from the BitForex community managers on Telegram regarding unscheduled maintenance were not true. They had not heard from BitForex management since the exchange went down. I am not surprised. It was to calm people. Traders out on Twitter. Yep. One more saying Sora. Yep, that is a beast AI program. Booth says, let's just hope it was unscheduled maintenance. I don't know. JP Tree says BitForex had 337,622 worth of OMI as of 58 hours ago. No, they definitely had more than that. That's too small of an amount. Booth says AI versus OnlyFans. Very weird matchup it is. I wouldn't worry about BitForex unless you have tokens on there, but after 72 hours, I would be concerned. Just chill and wait. Please, the exchange, not the OMI token. You can still buy on. True. BingX and Bitmart. But it says 20 billion OMI on BitForex because unfortunately it was the only exchanges team got OMI on. No, that's not why. It's people's fiscal irresponsibility that they kept it on an exchange. Nothing to do with the team and other exchanges. Trevor says, I am just getting caught up, but I also worry about the trust capital too. I will figure I will ride it up and then move half or more back into a more traditional IRA company like a Vanguard. Interesting. Trevor says, should I buy a Jetpack RoboCop? Seems like a good buy right now. I think OMI is the better buy, but you do what you want. Master Uguay says, worst case scenario, when do we see OMI on Robinhood? I think worst case scenario is in like a year, they start giving everyone their stuff back and they all sell at the same time. And a year you have just this massive amount of 22 billion OMI hitting the streets. Sure says, would you safer to store OMI in MetaMask or Veve wallet? It depends. I typically never use MetaMask. I do trust the Veve wallet more. MetaMask, as long as it's not connected to anything, it's probably fine. But again, I choose the Veve wallet over MetaMask just because you don't get anything by holding Veve or by holding OMI on MetaMask. You get points and stuff by holding OMI on the Veve wallet. And here's Yo Randy, what up? This is bullish. Could be. Or saying Chrome browser helped me to redeem the logo instead of Safari. He knows. I'll make sure he knows again after this. He basically, hey Randy, just thought of an amazing opportunity to grow the Veve users. Just tagged you on X. Let me know what you think. All right, let's see what we got here. It's going to be a long one. Kicking base. Are you I'm not Groot? Traditional OpenSea NFTs to Veve separate digital? No, not going to happen. With metaverse utility, bridge the OpenSea crowd. No, most of what's on OpenSea is trash, and they're not going to do that. I'll go Web3 space. Again, if you listen to people in Web3 spaces, they're very salty about the lie that was told to them of it being pure Web3. Most people are actually really just Web 2 and 2.5. The pure Web3 people, it's a whole mess right now, and it'll get better. But that being said, you could have some of OpenSea stuff come to the Veveverse, but you're not going to see a partnership like that. Ozzy saying, before getting more licenses, the Veve team needs to get on major exchanges. How do you have meme coins on exchanges not OMI? Well, meme coins really just care about pumping and dumping for the most part. They don't really care about long-term stability. Talk about long-term stability, you don't really want to go on an exchange in a bear market because it pumps and it dumps, and again, you just don't want that. So they're trying to have it sustained. Obviously, BitForex going down was not something that was anyone's bingo card in 2024, but alas, it did. You'll probably get a little bit more advance on exchanges. Like, let's say after BitGet, we would do like KuCoin or something that's available in the US. Let's say we're supposed to get that in September. Maybe they push it up to like June now or something. So we still get it in Q2. April, May, June. Yeah, that would make sense. But again, that's just my opinion. We go on for about an hour and a half. Big A says you just call people financially responsible for on the crypto where they don't control keys. Then you say for a wallet they don't control keys on versus MetaMask where you control your keys. It's just because I trust Veve. Obviously, if something happens on BitForex, Veve or Nakomi can't do anything for you. If something happens on Veve, they'll do right by you. So that's kind of my argument there. I would say Veve is as close to a secure. Veve is akin to a bank with FDIC insurance. That's however much OMI they'll cover you. You storing your OMI or your crypto on an exchange is basically like storing it in a bank with no FDIC insurance. Veve is pretty much an exchange with FDIC insurance. So that's why I said that. Because if something were to happen on Veve, they would make you whole again. If something happens on big exchanges, obviously there's nothing Veve and Nakomi can do. Anywho, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everybody, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye. Can't wait to eat. So hungry.